Szanowni Państwo, prezydent Rzeczypospolitej Polskiej pan Andrzej Duda i sekretarz generalny NATO pan Stoltenberg. Witam serdecznie na konferencji prasowej. Panowie wygłoszą oświadczenia. Jako pierwszy zabierze głos prezydent Rzeczypospolitej pan Andrzej Duda.
Your Excellency, Mr. Secretary General, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to welcome Mr. Secretary General of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, Mr. Jens Stoltenberg, along with his staff, to Warsaw on the eve, several hours before the beginning of the NATO's Warsaw Summit. Just a moment ago, we have finished our conversation. These were the last consultations before the opening of the summit. We discussed the preparations. We discussed first and foremost about the decisions that will be taken at the summit. And it is of primary importance, and let me stress it very strongly, that the North Atlantic Alliance is demonstrating and will demonstrate its unity over the next 2 days. It will show that it is a living alliance, that it responds in an adequate way to the changing security situation in the world, that among NATO member states there is a common understanding, and that they demonstrate a common approach in the spirit of solidarity to all subjects. The principle one for all and all for one is still valid. These are issues of utmost importance because the alliance, right from its inception, is faced with one major task: the defense of the Allied territory, understood as one whole, without any divisions into spheres which are more secure or less secure. The alliance is a unity, is a whole, and the security of each and every member state is equally important for the whole alliance. And this is a huge value which NATO continues to carry with it. The alliance has always taken care for peace, even in the most difficult times of the Cold War. The alliance was strengthening to make sure that there is never a war, and it has accomplished its task. The alliance has never been an aggressor. The alliance has never been an occupier. For the next 2 days, of course, it is going to occupy the National Stadium, but that is a totally different kettle of fish. But the alliance has always had a task to carry and to cement peace, and this is the task that it has until today. It is of defensive nature. It implements its tasks in a defensive way. The whole thing is that it implements them in an efficient way, adequate to the evolving situation and security environment. It is not a secret for anybody that this security environment has changed in the last years, and therefore the alliance has to and will take concrete decisions strengthening security where there is such need. And today, such need is visible especially here on NATO's eastern flank and in the south. And these will be two most important elements in the decisions which will be taken, and probably two most important elements of the debate which we will have. In this respect, the decisions will be taken, first of all, tomorrow, but we will also discuss other subjects. We will discuss topics connected with the relation between NATO and Ukraine. We will discuss how to ensure security and stability in Afghanistan. I am hugely pleased that NATO keeps its open door policy. The best proof of that may be the fact that we will have at the summit the Prime Minister of Montenegro, a state which has already acceded NATO, has signed the relevant documents, but now what needs to be done is still the ratification procedure. However, in all the elements of NATO's summit, the Prime Minister of Montenegro will take part, and soon NATO will have formally not 28 but 29 member states. We are very pleased with that, and I very much welcome the fact that tomorrow I will be able to host the Prime Minister of Montenegro. But, ladies and gentlemen, the most crucial element is the decision-making process. Right from the start, I have repeated that it is my great striving that the preparatory work for the meeting, which will start tomorrow, lasted for the whole year. And to me, what is most important is that NATO is comprehensive, which means that it should look into all important issues pertaining to the current security situation and security environment. It is important to me that the alliance has got a complete agenda and that the alliance is a decision-making structure. And hence, I am convinced, I conclude that also from our today's conversation with Mr. Secretary General, that this will be the case. That is why, Mr. Secretary General, let me thank you very warmly. Let me thank you also the staff of Mr. Secretary General and his deputy, Mr. Alexander Verzbo, for the huge work and huge effort and goodwill that all of them have contributed to make sure that the agreements on such important issues, which will be adopted finally tomorrow, agreements among 28 member states, states which have got diverse situations and diverse interests, have made this contribution to make those decisions happen, to be taken, to make sure that their implementation is the reflection of unity and solidarity, which has always constituted a huge strength of this wonderful cooperation, international cooperation, one of the best cooperations in the world, the cooperation within NATO. Once again, thank you very much, both for this huge work done, Mr. Secretary General, and thank you for your presence here in Warsaw today. Thank you, Mr. President, the Secretary General of NATO, Mr. Jens Stoltenberg.